We are just hours away from the kickoff of the NFL's biggest game of the season, Packers and Steelers in Dallas. But guys, from a gambling perspective, it's just another game, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this will be your Sunday video report. Let me tell you something, the biggest mistake gamblers make is they treat this as the biggest game of the season, when in reality, this game, even though it's the NFL's biggest game, is no bigger than any Mid-American Conference game that you would be betting on a Thursday night in college football. It is no bigger than the worst regular season game on any given Sunday over the last 4 months. It's just another game. And here's why. There is no line value in this game because it's been dissected over and over from every perspective the past 2 weeks as everyone's dissected this game on radio, TV, newspapers, the internet. There is no line value ever in the Super Bowl. It's always a sharp line. It's not like on a Saturday when you can find that hidden gem among 70 college football games. It's not like a Sunday where in 12 to 14 games you can always find the one game where the odds makers have made a mistake, and that's how you make your money. And there are 3 types of gamblers that come out and bet the Super Bowl. Gambling type number 1, well, that's the guy, many of you out there, who have been playing every single week throughout this football season. Week in, week out, you're in there for the long haul. Gambling type number 2, that's a player generally that played early in the season, got buried, and now is coming back because it is the biggest game of the year from his perspective, and he's looking to recoup all or some of his losses. And then the 3rd type of gambler is the casual player, the guy who comes out of the woodwork because, hey, it is the biggest game of the season, and he's going to place a wager on it. Problem from my perspective, after 25 years as a professional sports handicapper, is this. The first type of gambler knows what he's doing, especially in terms of money management. The second and third types, they don't often have a clue. And consequently, they often get in over their head, getting themselves into a deep financial abyss from which there is no escape. Remember the golden rule of gambling, guys. You never bet more than you can afford to lose. That's the bottom line. I'm 12-4-2 over the last 18 years with my Super Bowl plays. Not perfect, but certainly not bad. 12-4-2, hitting 6 of the last 8. Proposition plays. Before I go any further, let me talk about proposition plays. And let me tell you guys, over the years, every radio and TV interview I've done, everybody wants to talk about proposition plays, anywhere from 250 to 400 of them, betting on how long the national anthem is going to be. Hell, I've made a media history with that thing because the last 4 years, I've always talked about that unique wager. I've hit it 4 straight years. FYI, I think it goes over today. Would I ever bet it? Are you kidding me? Listen, proposition plays are just designed to take money out of your pocket. They're designed to put money in sports books' pocket. There is a reason why nearly 30% of the total amount of money wagered in Las Vegas here for this game is going to be on proposition plays. It's like add-on money. It's extra money for the sports books because they're so hard to win. Listen, every wager is a 50-50 proposition. If you truly feel that you have a better shot at picking out some of the proposition plays than simply the game, the side, or the total, God bless you. As for me, I would never waste my time. That's just my perspective after 25 years. And again, I'm a guy who does all these interviews, and I'm asked constantly about proposition plays. It makes for great copy, makes for great interviews. It's just not a wise gambling investment. Now, let's talk about the history of the Super Bowl. As I told you in the division round of the playoffs and also in the conference championship round, generally it's always been blowout city. No different than in the Super Bowl either. 22 of your 44 Super Bowl games have been decided by 2 touchdowns or more. Straight up winners. Only 6 times in the history of the NFL title game has the straight up winner failed to cover the spread. There's been a couple of pushes along the way, as you know. Underdogs have covered 7 of the last 9 games, yet favorites still a slim advantage overall. 22-19-2 against the spread over the years. There was one pick'em, that of course the great game between the 49ers and Joe Montana and the Cincinnati Bengals a number of years ago. Green Bay, the first number 6 seed to reach the Super Bowl since, ironically, the Steelers did so 5 years ago, and the Steelers the only one as the number 6 seed to actually win the Super Bowl. I have won, by the way, 6 of my last 7 NFL free picks for you here in the playoffs, and I've got a free pick coming up in just a moment. As for me today, and I'll continue to break down this game for you in just a second, today I have my second biggest play of the season. It is another 20-dime play. I've had only 3 of them in football this year. The first one was a winner in college football on New Year's Day, Wisconsin getting the cover against TCU in the Rose Bowl. The other 2 came in the NFL playoffs. Baltimore in a road blowout of KC in the wild card round, and of course 2 Sundays ago in the conference championship game in the AFC when I told you to ride the Steelers against the Jets, and they hung on for the win and the cover. Today, 29 play. 4th in a row, only the 4th of the season, second biggest play of the season. Available right now, it's your Pittsburgh Green Bay side. You know, much has been made about these teams. Their meeting at Heinz Field last December, a 37-36 barn burner won by the Steelers on the final play of the contest. But what many fail to realize is, you know, the Steelers were up 24-14 after 3 quarters in that game. It was the 4th quarter that was wild and woolly with all the explosive fireworks with 4 lead changes. Aaron Rodgers, tremendous against the Steelers pass defense, picking them apart. 383 yards and 3 touchdowns. But how about Ben Roethlisberger that day? Despite being sacked 5 times, he still threw for a career-high 503 yards and 3 scores as well. Many will say the experience factor is the key thing in picking a winner in this game. There's some logic in that statement. Listen, you know, the Steelers have 22 starters back from the team that beat Arizona a few years, 22 players back with Super Bowl experience from the team that beat Arizona a few years ago, including 10 defensive starters. Packers, only 2 players with Super Bowl experience on their roster. But, interesting fact here, you know, a Super Bowl team playing for the 2nd time in a 3-year window since 1995, 4-2 straight up, 1-5 against the spread. Teams with winning percentages, the best winning percentage in the Super Bowl of late, well, you know, 3-4 straight up the last 7 Super Bowls. The teams with the better winning percentage against the odds makers, 0-7. 0-7 against the spread. The team with the winning percentage that is better in the Super Bowl the past 7 years. Now, let's get to your total. That's going to be your free pick. Sitting right around 44.5 points. 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls have stayed under the posted price. But it's interesting to note that 6 of the last 8 games, the 2 teams have combined for more than 44 points. Okay? I like the over in this game. Guys, the Steelers have gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. They put 31 points on the board against a good Baltimore defense, 24 points on the board against the Jets defense. They've scored 23 or more points in 5 of their last 6 games. Green Bay, you know what Aaron Rodgers has done in his career playing indoors. Just ask the Atlanta Falcons. Packers have scored 21 or more points in 5 of their last 6 games. So I say this one, it's not going to be a 17-14 game. It's not going to be a 20-17 game. In fact, I think somewhere between 48, 49 points are going to be scored. I'll defy the odds makers. I'll take this one over. 6-1 last 7 free NFL selections here in the playoffs. Good luck, everybody. Play the over, and I'll catch you again on Monday.